It's the Travel Agency Near podcast with your host, Rachel Kay, and we are on day 77. I want to thank you again for coming back. And if you are just stuck on day 77, the first time finding us, congratulations. This podcast is for travel advisors building up their business, and it kind of is a supplement to our Success Circle program. If you're interested in checking that out, head over to elevatewithrachelk.com. It is $35 a month for 12 months. So just a little over $1 a day can help you become the CEO of your travel agency. We are doing a whole series on fears entrepreneurs face and how they can be something that you're going to most likely face at some point in your journey of building your travel agency. Today is the fear of inadequate marketing, which I have heard people say, I feel like my marketing's not good enough. It's fine. It's fine. And sometimes it isn't good enough. And if you don't have that fear, then you're not going to have the ability to kind of analyze and scrutinize your content. So it's not a bad fear to have, but it can also really keep you frozen and stuck from even putting yourself out there in the first place, which is denying yourself the opportunity to get business from anyone in the United States, Canada, whatever country you're a travel advisor in. All right, number one, to get over your fear of inadequate marketing. Man, this one's going to be, well, not that long. There's only 7 points. What do I mean by inadequate marketing? You aren't posting enough, according to somebody, or you aren't posting on the right platforms, according to somebody, or uh, your content just doesn't perform well enough. It's dependent on a lot of factors. It's more, I would say, and I mentioned this in a previous episode, don't worry about vanity metrics, especially if you're just a one-man band running this show. Don't worry about going viral. Don't worry about getting tens and hundreds of thousands of followers because you don't really have the capacity to serve the proper number of conversion from those followers and leads that you would be getting if your content was really converting, right? Um, so there's that to think about. But also, you do need to look if you have short form video content and people are falling off within the first few seconds, then there's something in the hook that's not appealing. And you do need to have some idea and some study of what marketing, especially social media marketing, is like. So let's talk about how you can get over this fear of inadequate marketing. Number one, do you have your unique value proposition, not someone else's? The inadequate marketing feeling can come from l- imposter syndrome, right? And a lot of people get stuck with imposter syndrome because they're told, I'll sell you a solution. You just do things my way. And then they do things that person's way or whatever. And they're like, this isn't me. This doesn't align with who I am or how I want to run my business. And you may not have an understanding of what your unique value proposition is. And we all are in this industry. We are all different niches. We all serve different clientele or client types in every niche. And what is your unique value proposition? Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Maybe sit and think about that because that's going to help you feel more confident to put yourself out there, especially if you're doing social media marketing. Speaking of confidence, you need to understand because you are unique. This is like tied. This is number 2, by the way. Because you are unique and you have your own value proposition, and you may have a very, very similar business model because the actual structure of businesses, it works. Like there's a reason. Here's my drive-through restaurant reference that I always use. There's a reason that like McDonald's, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, Burger King, Arby's, they all have a very similar model of how they serve their clients, driving around, order at some speaker, pay at the first window, pick up at the next window. Like they're all like that, but they all have a unique value proposition. And all of these restaurants were confident that they are different and how they are unique and who they serve gave them the confidence decades ago to start this up and be like, yeah, I'm another fast food drive-through restaurant, but also here's what I do differently from everybody else. So you need to think of yourself as like we all have very, very similar business models, very, very similar processes in how we serve our clients. And there are thousands of other agents with the same niche as you, and hundreds, if not thousands, of other agents who serve the exact same kind of ideal client avatar. But there are millions of households in the US alone that like to travel. So it's a pretty even playing field. Don't think about that. Think about how you uniquely serve your ideal client. And that's going to give you more confidence to show up because there are people out there looking for someone exactly like you to help them with their trip. Number 3, again, stop watching the vanity metrics of your social media accounts and the vanity metrics of your competition. I highly recommend understanding who your biggest competitors are and seeing this is how you can also, if you're stuck on a unique value proposition, look at your biggest competitor. Go check out their website. It's okay. See kind of how they do things on their website. See if they're like step 1, step 2, whatever. Go check out their social media. Follow them on social media. Just kind of see what they're doing and then see this is how you create your unique value proposition. There's going to be a gap that you will be able to sense and infer from looking at how they serve people and what they do and who they like, what products they offer, and be like, oh, well, I do this. I have this additional service, or I do this slightly differently. And then that's going to help you create your unique value competition. But if you go follow them on social media and you're like, why do they have 5,000 followers or 100,000 followers? I only have 300. Followers do not mean conversions to sales. Views do not mean conversions to sales. I would argue that people who go viral, and I'm not saying this is in general, but I would argue if you are one business owner, when you go viral, it's a crazy struggle and you better knock that out and you better serve everyone to the best of your abilities or it's not going to give you the revenue. It's not going to bring any business in. I've witnessed it. I've talked about it in other episodes. So going viral doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get leads or even leads that are aligned with what you do and who you serve. Okay. But it can be very discouraging to see that someone else has much higher engagement or someone else has so many more followers. Um, and you're just like, gosh, they don't even do that good of a job. Like I'm doing so much better, but I can't get the leads. Don't think of it like that. Okay. Think of you can be inspired by your competition to do what your gap is that you're filling that they aren't doing. Okay. That's all you need to think of it as. And you can watch like their content or check out what their process is and be like, oh, that's a good idea. Or, oh, they aren't doing this and I do this. Okay. You can be inspired by them, is what I'm saying. You can, like, I like to think of it, I think it's Rocky 4. I think maybe all the Rockies, but I remember Rocky 4 the best. Or no, it's probably the original Rocky. Anyway, now I'm thinking of a Simpsons episode where Bart is in a mini golf tournament against Todd Flanders, and they're doing like a Rocky montage, and he's got a little picture of Todd in his dresser mirror, and he's just like, "Arr!" Like you can think of your competition as that and be inspired to do better than them, or to become their equal and like actually have them recognize, oh, you're now competition and it should be friendly. Don't like hate or no shade to your competition, but you can use your competition as like inspiration. That was a really long rambling. All right. Point 4. Don't you don't have to be everywhere. You do not have to be on every single platform. I've heard advisors say, well, I need to be here. I need to be here. I need to be here. No, no, no. Your strategy is dependent on your strengths. Are you good on camera? Are you good at speaking? Are you good at writing? Or are you good just talking to people in person? Where's your strength in terms of your marketing? Your ideal client avatar slash ICA and where they show up. There is no point in being on a platform that is geared towards 50 plus for the most part demographically when your ICA is 25. They're not going to want to be on there and they're not going to actively go there to find you. So why are you posting on that platform? I would recommend no more than 3 platforms, and most of your leads will most likely come from one, and you can cross post on the other 2 if you want. So you're not overwhelmed, and make sure they're like if you decide long form video, let's say YouTube is a platform you're like, this is where I'm going to find my people. Record a long form video, have the transcript, use it for like a Pinterest post or some kind of written post on a written platform. Like there's Substack, there's I think Mastodon, there's you could do like written Instagram, written. It just really depends on where your ICA is at. But you could take the transcription of your video content and make that into another post that's a written post. And that way you have one piece of content in 2 different places. And then to offset it, if you think they also like short form video, then you can clip little clips from your YouTube and post them on shorts, post them on TikTok or Reels or wherever else you want to for your short form that you believe your ICA is at. Okay, so I wrote this down. I ditched Facebook marketing in 2020. Found my audience elsewhere. I don't know why I wrote this down. So I tried the Facebook marketing because everyone like way back in the teens was like Facebook ads and Google My Business ads. Marketing strategies are constantly changing. Platforms where people are is constantly changing, especially with the advent of AI coming down the pipeline in the last 2 years. I've seen and I've had discussions with so many advisors who are like, oh, I'm trying this. I'm going to expand into this. I'm starting to show up in like ChatGPT and Gemini searches as a solid authority on my niche, and I'm starting to get clients from there. So also understand that you may have to pivot platforms over time, and that's okay too. All right, invest in marketing education. It doesn't have to be industry specific. It's just marketing is marketing is marketing. There's no magic formula that's different for travel advisors than it is for realtors or any service-based industry, honestly. Like, there's no difference except you're saying I'm a travel advisor instead of I'm a realtor. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm a hairstylist, or I'm trying to think of like other service industries. Okay. Here's some books. Here's a bunch of books I've written down here. Number 1 is Expert Secrets, and I know I mentioned this in a live Q&A, and it's by Russell Brunson, I believe is the name of the author. And that is a book all about how you can refine webinar presentations. If you decide to have webinars as a lead magnet, that book can really help you understand how to tweak them and use the replays of webinars as just like free lead magnets down the road. It's amazing. It's an amazing, insightful book with unique strategies that could be applied to travel advisors. Pre-Suasion. I don't remember who wrote that book. I feel like it's a hostage negotiator. It's a really good book. I read it like 3 years ago, but it's about preparing your audience to already be persuaded, if that makes sense. Persuasion. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. That's just kind of like a mindset motivating book. And there is some like marketing things in there. It's related mostly to real estate. The 48 Laws of Power is not even allowed in federal prisons because it's by Robert Greene and it's a thick book. I use it as like more of a reference. I would never read the whole thing. It can, if you were to read it cover to cover, it probably would teach you how to become a straight up psychopath, but it is the 48 laws of power and how to um, take control of a lot of situations. And a lot of marketing is psychological. And you can use this not only, I'm not saying use this to use to be like nefarious, be like, I'm going to get all the clients now, manipulating them all. But you can kind of reflect on maybe where you might be a little weak. Just read the chat, like the table of contents, and be like, oh, that's an interesting, and just go to that chapter. But you can also use it to understand when you're being marketed to in a manipulative way. And that's when you need to be very, very, very wary of what's being sold to you. Because why are they playing your emotions and your fears like that? Okay. There are so many free resources as well. Diary of a CEO has so many episodes tied to confidence and marketing. Vanessa Van Edwards is a great she talks a lot about body language and like how to, I think I've done previous episodes like referencing some of her tips. Um, so there's so many free resources out there too. Diary of a CEO also helps you like understand making wise investments and see how much you are marketed to. Not Diary of a CEO, sorry. These are my terrible notes, chicken scratches. Just a general understanding marketing, it's going to make you understand, oh, I'm being bamboozled. This person is just a joke and they want thousands of dollars. No thanks. And it's just like any industry. Anything you buy in the future, you'll be like, wait, hold up. All right. Tip number 6, free resources. If you need help with digital marketing, Google Digital Garage, SEMrush Academy. That's, I think, tied to AI. I think actually a lot of these are tied to like AI, not necessarily just using AI, but like tied to like what's coming down the pipeline and how to maximize or leverage different platforms. Meta Blueprint, Udemy, U is in umbrella, D dog, E Edward, M Mary, Y. Zero cost marketing strategies. It should be a free course. Allison for internet marketing, and the Trade Desk. Those are all free resources to really get an understanding of marketing. So the fear of inadequate marketing usually comes from, I don't know how to market. I didn't realize I was going to have to market this much. And almost every fear is just like a lack of knowledge in that area, right? That's why exposure therapy is so great, because you're like, if you have a fear of dogs, they'll be like, all right, let's put you in a room with dogs slowly over time, get them closer and closer. Same thing I'm doing here with these episodes. Keep doing what you're doing in your business, like day to day. Keep doing your marketing. Let it be sucky if you're like, I have inadequate marketing. Just keep putting yourself out there and give yourself 1 to 2 hours a week for study in your marketing and being confident in your business so that you can have that confidence when you are marketing your services. What was I going to say? I flipped the notebook over. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah. So there's a guy named Lewis Howes he's got a few different podcasts. He's got some great interviews that he does, but he even admits he's been doing this probably a decade now. But he admits, I remember 3 or 4 years ago, I was listening to one. He was like, dude, if you look back at my first, which I'm going to do the same thing, by the way, in like 2 or 3 years. If you look back at my first podcasts and my first recordings, and I was just like alone in my house, they're terrible. But he still has them up because it's like he can see his progression of growth. Do the same thing if you have social media marketing content where you're just like, I want to delete it. It's terrible. No, just keep it up. All right, that was a super long episode. Thanks for joining us today. If you liked this episode and want to hear more about addressing your fears as an entrepreneur and so many other topics related to building up your business and keeping your sanity, subscribe. subscribe, and have a great day.